All right, let's talk about the future of retail. Because the real battle for your business isn't happening on flashy websites or in big, shiny stores anymore. Nope, it's being fought completely out of sight in the complex world of the supply chain. And today, we're going to break down exactly how the smartest companies are winning. I mean, we've all been there, haven't we? You're clicking refresh on a tracking page that just won't update, or you finally decide to buy something and you see that dreaded out of stock message. It's super frustrating. Well, the reason why that happens is exactly what we're going to get into. You see, the answer has to do with this massive, fundamental shift in the way retail operates. To really get why those packages get stuck, we first have to understand that we're living in a brand new and frankly, much more chaotic era for anyone trying to sell you anything. So check this out. It didn't used to be this complicated. You had simple stores, then maybe stores plus a website. But now we're in what's being called the volatile retail era. And that's defined by two massive pressures pushing against each other. First, we, the customers, want everything faster than ever. We want it now. But at the exact same time, the world is throwing more disruptions at us. Storms, port delays, you name it. It's a total recipe for chaos. So what happens when you take systems that were built for a much slower, more predictable time, and you try to make them work in this crazy new world? Well, as you can probably guess, things start to fall apart. And that breakdown has a huge cost, not just for the businesses, but for us, the customers. The old way of doing things just can't keep up. We're talking about people relying on spreadsheets, phone calls, and tons of manual guesswork. And that disconnection, it leads directly to the problems we all feel. Information gets delayed, which means people make mistakes, which, you guessed it, leads to late deliveries and those super annoying stockouts. This isn't just some boring business problem, it's a customer experience nightmare. Okay, but it's not all doom and gloom. There is a fix, and it's not about trying to work harder, it's about working way, way smarter. The whole solution is really built on two powerful pillars of modern tech. So, pillar number one is real-time visibility. The best way to think about this is like a shared GPS for the entire supply chain. It pulls all the data from the factory, the warehouse, the delivery truck, all of it into one single live map that everyone can see. It completely eliminates the guesswork and all the time wasted just trying to figure out where something actually is. And the second piece of the puzzle is artificial intelligence. So if visibility is the GPS showing you where everything is, AI is the super smart navigation system that tells you the best way to go. It crunches all that data to spot patterns, like demand for a product is suddenly spiking in one city, and it gives the human teams a heads up with clear advice on what to do before it becomes a problem. Okay, so we've got visibility and AI. That's the theory. But what does it actually look like in the real world, day to day? Let's take a look at how these tools really change the game when they're put into practice. With this new tech, inventory stops being these static piles of stuff sitting in a warehouse. Instead, it becomes this continuous, intelligent flow. The system can see that, hey, a product is flying off the shelves in one city, and it'll automatically start redirecting more of it there. This completely solves that classic retail problem of having way too much of an item in one store and none at all where people are actually trying to buy it. Transportation gets a huge upgrade too. It's not just a cost anymore. It actually becomes a key part of making the customer happy. The system can predict a bad storm or a major traffic jam and proactively reroute a truck onto a faster path. This is how a company can promise you a delivery date and actually, keep that promise. And maybe the biggest change is how they deal with risk. Instead of panicking when something goes wrong, it becomes this daily, proactive habit. These modern systems are constantly scanning for trouble, like a slowdown at a shipping port or a supplier who's falling behind, and it lets the team jump on those problems long before they ever affect your order. In this new volatile era, that's not just nice to have, it's absolutely essential to survive. Now, I know this all might sound incredibly complex, like you have to flip a switch overnight, but the good news is, getting there is actually a pretty clear, manageable journey. The sources we looked at lay out a really practical roadmap for any company that wants to get ahead of the curve. And here it is. It's basically a 2-year plan, broken into 4 phases. First, you spend 6 months just building the foundation, getting your data clean and turning on that live visibility. Then you add the brains, deploying the AI to get insights. After that, it's all about integration, connecting all your partners to a central control tower, which is kind of like a mission control for your whole operation. And finally, you optimize and scale it all up, turning the whole thing into one hyper-efficient, intelligent machine. So here's the bottom line.
The winners and losers in retail over the next 10 years, they won't be decided by who has the fanciest storefront. It's going to be decided by who has the fastest, smartest, and most resilient supply chain. The whole game has changed, and technology is how you win.